Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets. Today, we're diving into a stack of fresh sources that show how AI is affecting everything from music charts to your phone's privacy, plus some serious new hardware drops.
We've got a fantastic mix. The ethical questions around AI, genuinely helpful AI tools for social good, major phone launches, and even a new console war brewing. It's a busy tech week.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
And we have to start with this massive realization that 97% of people can't distinguish between human-made and AI-generated music.
97%. That finding from the Deezer and Ipsos survey is it's the single biggest wake-up call the music industry has received this year.
Why?
For almost everyone listening, the algorithmic output is basically indistinguishable from human creativity.
And what's fascinating is the reaction people had to their own inability to tell. 70% were surprised, and 52%, over half, admitted they were actually uncomfortable with it.
That discomfort is key.
Yeah. And it immediately led to this demand for labeling, right?
Yeah.
Like 80% of people agree AI music should be clearly tagged.
And that demand is vital because the scale is already just staggering. Deezer, the platform that commissioned the study, said it gets about 50,000 AI-generated tracks every single day.
50,000.
A day. You can't manage that without tools, which is exactly why they've had to roll out detection software.
And that quantity is precisely why 70% of people think AI threatens the livelihood of real artists.
Okay.
But before we get into the cultural debate, is the legal pushback on this stuff actually setting a real precedent?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge precedent. The news that OpenAI was just ruled to have violated German copyright law in Munich, that's a massive deal.
Right, for training its models on popular music without consent.
Exactly. The German music rights group GEMA is calling it the first landmark AI ruling in Europe. Now, OpenAI is considering an appeal, but the message is clear. Jurisdictions are drawing hard lines on source material.
And it's not like this is just a one-off thing either. We've seen companies having to pay up in similar cases right here in the U.S.
Precisely. If you connect this to the bigger picture, just look at the $1.5 billion settlement that Anthropic paid out.
That's the company behind the Claude AI.
Yeah, and they paid that because authors alleged the models were trained on pirated books. These cases, when you look at them together, they're setting a market price for using copyrighted data without permission.
So it's not just a slap on the wrist.
No, it signals that IP holders are going to be compensated, and severely.
That financial risk probably explains some of the proactive moves we're seeing, like with the celebrity voice clones.
Right, from the AI audio company 11 Labs, they've partnered with, A-listers like Matthew McConaughey and Michael Caine to offer licensed AI voice clones.
And McConaughey, who's an investor, is already using his Spanish AI clone for his newsletter.
It's a system that's all about control. If a business wants to use his voice, they go through 11 Labs, the rights holder reviews the request, and then approves it. It gives them a way to monetize their likeness and fight deepfakes at the same time.
But I have to ask, does this system really solve the problem for, the thousands of other voice actors who can't get a deal with a platform like 11 Labs? Isn't this kind of just protecting the 1%?
That is the essential question, isn't it? It provides a legal, controlled framework for those who have the resources, but it doesn't solve that foundational ethical problem of training models on unprotected voices. This is just the very beginning of how we define digital identity.
Okay, so if that whole section was about, control over AI, let's look at control over your life. Not all AI is focused on songs or celebrity voices. Some of it is genuinely designed for social utility.
Yeah, we're talking about LMA, which stands for AI for Life Mapping Assistance. It's a new virtual assistant from the International Rescue Committee.
The IRC, right?
And this tool is designed specifically for refugees and new immigrants trying to navigate life in the U.S.
And its purpose is incredibly practical. It helps people find benefits, locate social services. It even helps them role play for job interviews.
And it gives them an overview of their rights, which is crucial.
It is.
And importantly, it runs on WhatsApp. That's a platform that's already a primary communication channel in many immigrant communities, so LMA is instantly accessible. You just need a phone number.
The designers are being really conscious of the mental health aspect here. They said explicitly that LMA is an emergency response tool, not some continuous chat buddy.
Right, to avoid the codependency issues that have cropped up with other chatbots.
Exactly. It's built for utility, not companionship.
And we're seeing that same utility focus elsewhere. Google's Notebook LM is integrating Gemini's new deep research tool.
So you can toggle between fast or deep research styles now.
Yeah, for more in-depth analysis and better citations. And they've added support for like Google Sheets and Docs files, which is super useful.
Meanwhile, Mozilla Firefox is rolling out what they're calling an AI window. It's an opt-in space with an assistant. And what I love is that users will be able to pick the specific AI model they want to use.
Leaning into that user choice and control.
Totally. And for Pixel users, the latest feature drop is all about personalization. The Nano Banana AI image generator is now fully rolling out to Google Photos and Messages.
So you can just ask it to do really specific edits, like remove Riley's sunglasses, make Angle smile.
On the privacy side, though, the pitfalls just keep popping up.
Yeah.
ChatGPT had another data leak.
Right. A routing bug in its web browsing mode exposed snippets of private user chats in Google Search Console dashboards.
So how did that happen?
Well, the problem was a hidden tag hint search that included the user's prompt right in the URL that was generated, and then Google indexed it.
Oof.
OpenAI confirmed they fixed it, but it highlights a persistent kind of technical issue.
And the significance of that goes beyond just one company's mistake.
Yeah.
That leak ties into this crocodile mouth phenomenon you see in web analytics.
High impressions, very low clicks.
Exactly. And the takeaway is that AI bots are now fundamentally changing how we measure what humans are doing online.
Shifting to pure security threats, we have to talk about a major vulnerability that affected Samsung Galaxy phones. It was called the Landfall Zero-Day Spyware Exploit.
And it hit the S22, S23, and S24 series, plus the Z Fold 4 and Z Flip 4.
The scary thing about this exploit isn't just that it was zero-day.
Meaning Samsung didn't know about it when it was first used.
Right. It was a no-click attack. It used malicious DNG files disguised as JPEGs sent over WhatsApp. You didn't have to do anything for your device to get infected. That just changes the risk completely.
So what could it do once it was on the phone?
It could record audio, access your photos, your contacts, your location, everything. Samsung patched it earlier this year, but it was specifically targeting users in certain regions like Iraq, Iran, Turkey, and Morocco.
Okay, let's pivot to the pure excitement of new gadgets and mobility. The OnePlus 15 review just dropped, and it's positioning itself as a powerful flagship for $899.
Which is a lot cheaper than its rivals.
For sure.
And it's a specs beast. It's running the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip and has this massive 7,300 mAh battery. Reviewers clocked it at about 30 hours of life.
So performance-wise, it's a winner, but I saw some reviewers noted the design is bit safe.
Yeah, it favors function over style. They ditched the old distinctive camera circle for a pretty standard square bump. It's a little boring.
Speaking of radical design, though, Samsung's Galaxy Z TriFold specs have leaked.
And they confirmed the name.
Yep, so this is the next logical step, right? A 6.5-inch cover display that unfolds into a huge 10-inch inner screen.
And it's not skimping on specs either. A 200-megapixel main camera and a hefty 5,437 mAh battery to power it all.
The anxiety is palpable here, though. Will our favorite third-party apps actually work well in full screen on a double-hinged phone? That's the real test.
That's always the challenge with these new form factors.
And for what might be the biggest news in gaming hardware, Valve is planning a massive counterattack against the traditional console market.
They announced 3 major new products for early 2026, and they all run SteamOS.
This is a huge strategic pivot. So first, the Steam Machine.
A 6-inch cube console. They're promising 4K 60 FPS performance and claiming it's 6 times more powerful than the original Steam Deck.
They are really throwing down the gauntlet against Sony and Microsoft.
Then there's the Steam Frame, which is a wireless VR headset using an ARM chip. It features foveated streaming, so it optimizes quality where your eyes are actually looking.
And they're welcoming Android apps and games to Steam for this device, right?
They are, which massively expands its content library right from the start.
And there's a new Steam controller. But what everyone wants to know is, where's the Steam Deck 2?
Well, Valve's official answer is that they're waiting for a true generational leap in compute without sacrificing battery life.
So they're not interested in just a small incremental upgrade.
Nope. They said they haven't found the right chip to deliver that leap yet.
Okay, finally, let's talk about mobility in the real world. Waymo robotaxis are expanding their freeway service to riders in San Francisco, Phoenix, and LA.
With Austin and Atlanta coming later, that is a major regulatory and scaling decision.
Absolutely. Now, Waymo claims their robotaxis are safer than human drivers, but
But those claims are complicated by the ongoing federal safety investigations from the NHTSA.
right for incidents including like hitting stationary objects and passing a stopped school bus.
So there's still work to do.
But speaking of how infrastructure is changing to support travel, I saw this small but really practical change from Airbnb.
Oh, the Instacart thing.
Yes, they're testing an option for guests to order Instacart supplies ahead of their stay. You arrive at the rental, and the fridge is already stocked. That's just a great quality of life upgrade.
It is. You know, what's fascinating across all these sources is how quickly AI is moving from being a novelty like editing a photo with your voice to an essential utility,
Yeah.
even as it forces these huge, high-stakes questions about privacy and copyright and control.
Absolutely. The industry is forcing these conversations on us, from multi-billion-dollar copyright settlements in Europe to, zero-day exploits that required no action on your part, and even triple folding phones. It really makes you aware of how fast everything is evolving.
So, considering 97% of people can't tell the difference between human and AI music, how long until we stop asking if it's AI and start asking, does it even matter?
Thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed this episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.